Golf Monthly had the exclusive first look. In fact, we were one of the first golf journalists in the world to see Wilson's new C200 iron. Now, in the past, Wilson have categorised their irons based on feel, control and distance, starting with your FG100, your FG Tour irons down in the feel bracket, you know, soft material, thin top lines, very minimal offset, aimed at good players, moving up into the control category, your C100, then into the M3 iron, which was a little bit more offset, all the way up to the D200, which was the pure out and out distance iron. Wilson felt they could categorise these irons a little bit better, so they've changed for 2016 the control category into crossover. So that's designed to cover all the different irons that could suit game improvers, really good players, but also some high handicappers as well. And the C200 iron is a perfect example of that. It's a completely groundbreaking design. There's nothing like this on the market, and it uses something called flex face. Now basically what this is, you can see here, is that there's holes all the way around the face, all the way around the perimeter. Wilson have called these power holes. In fact, only 24% of the face is actually connected to the rest of the club head, and that's because of all these different holes go all the way down from the sole to the toe and onto the top line as well. Now these holes are designed to minimise the contact between the club face and the rest of the club head. It means the club face can flex more, and it's going to give you more distance. And these holes are actually filled with urethane. In fact, they've got to be filled with something, otherwise they wouldn't conform to the rules of golf. So filling it with urethane gives these irons the soft feel that a lot of good players demand, but then with the technology, with the holes and the face flexing a little bit more, you're getting the distance that your game improvers and your super game improvers are going to want from their irons. But it also allows Wilson to redistribute the weight of the iron more towards the perimeter. You see, but the weight they've taken out in these holes, move it to the edges, makes the iron more forgiving. So on the face of it, this iron is a very long iron, it's a very forgiving iron, but with all that urethane behind the face, it's also going to feel very soft. Now, as well as innovating on the club head, Wilson haven't skimped when it comes to the grip and the shaft. We've got the KBS Tour 90 shaft, which is the lightest steel shaft that KBS offer. We've also got the Lambkin crossline grip, so some premium shaft and grip combinations to work with this new club head. It does result in a slight price increase over C100, but I think with all this technology and innovation we can see here, well worth a little bit of an upgrade in price. Now, I was lucky enough to have a hit with these irons at Bearwood Lakes Golf Club. It's an exclusive first try. I really enjoyed the performance of these irons. No doubt there's more distance there. I was at least an extra club longer than my current set. Admittedly, the lofts are slightly stronger, but to get that distance in an iron that looks relatively like a better player iron, there's not much offset there. A relatively thick top line, but the feel was absolutely superb as well. Something certainly felt more like a better player iron, and that's all down to this urethane piece you can see here inside the head. Really like the look of it. I mean, you might think looking down at this power hole might be a bit off-putting, but actually after a few shots you don't really notice they're there. They're not really that distracting at all. Really innovative technology from Wilson. It's visible on the shelf. I think it's going to draw a lot of golfers in, but also golfers from a lot of different abilities. You know, like I said before, the spectrum of players that could benefit from this iron. Even your better players looking for a bit more distance, but without losing feel. Moving up to your game improvers, they want distance and forgiveness. Don't forget, with the power holes that they've used here, they're taking a lot of weight out and placing it at the perimeter. So not only is it a very long, soft feeling iron, but it's also very forgiving as well. I think it's very clear who this iron is aimed at. It's a crossover is a great way to describe this iron because the appeal is so wide. I felt like the C100 iron that this replaces was a little bit close to the D100, a little bit too much offset there. People wanting more distance would just go straight to the D100, wouldn't go to the C100, but I think here you've got a much more player looking iron, but with all the distance and forgiveness properties thrown in. So like I said, appeal is really wide. Recommend you give it a try when it comes out.